To the Calvinier-sponsored ABFA Women's Premier League this weekend. My name is George Dublin here with you once again, and alongside me is
Desmond Zico Blow.
And we're here to bring you coverage of the game of the afternoon, Cutting Edge FA against Wadadli United FA. Cutting Edge FA going into their fourth game alongside Wadadli United, also their fourth game to end the first round, and both teams are tied on points at 7, but Wadadli United have the edge in terms of goal difference.
Yes, so this should be a really interesting match. I think both teams have found themselves at the top of the table. So a positive result for either one means that they end the first round in pole position. So should be an interesting encounter.
Most definitely. The afternoon is quite bright, quite sunny. I know it takes a bit of time for these two teams to get comfortable, or the first couple of minutes of it will be very hectic for both teams based on the sun. But here we go, the ball with Tassie and Benjamin. Benjamin tries to play Enriquez, a bit hard for Enriquez, but tracked down by Roberts, and tried to play to Hodge, but the ball goes into touch for a throw-in to Cutting Edge. So Cutting Edge here is winning the first throw-in of the game, and the throw-in will be taped through Tassie and Benjamin here, Z. But just quickly, you get a chance to run through the lineups there for viewers, Z.
So we have for Cutting Edge, Amaya Hodge, Denisha Samuel, Tassie and Benjamin, Abisha Henry, Aisha Allen, Donisha Samuel, Jordan Henriquez, Marcia Jarvis, Brianna August, Abigail Simmons, and Khadija Proctor.
Most definitely. And here we have it now with Benjamin here, skipper Benjamin for Wadadli United, plays it into D'Souza lose out to Benjamin to Abisha Henry tries to play this one through midfield, met by Donisha Samuel, played forward by Samuel, and there's an infringement there just now, and Allen committed by Roberts here. So we have the regular back four here, Zico, for Cutting Edge, and the same goes for the Wadadli United FC team.
Yes, I think both teams would have settled into what would have been what both coaches have figured out to be their best lineup. And so we're seeing pretty much the same identical lineups of both teams coming out of their last encounter.
Yes, most definitely. So here we go with Abisha Henry playing this one over the top. Ball plays right through, met by Thomas. Thomas with a poor touch, picked up by Allen. Allen is in the box here, but Roberts recovered and gets it ball as far as Enriquez. Enriquez takes the touch, tried to play to August, but it was a poor one picked up by London. London plays it forward, catch by Abisha Henry. Arja London has it, plays it down the line for Henry. Henry being chased by Samuel. Henry's trying to cross, but this one goes straight in the arms of goalkeeper Hodge.
So play resuming with Aisha Allen looking to combine, but unfortunately she would have lost out to a well-marshalled Wadadli United defense.
Roberts to Zolik Samuel to James. James tried to go past Samuel. She gets a pass, Domisha Samuel, plays it inside to Arja London cuts Abisha Henry, turns on the left foot and takes a shot, but one is tame shot and goes into the arms of Hodge.
So George, for Wadadli, yes, but for Wadadli United, Joel Harvey in goal, Jada Benjamin, Arja London, Janaira Hodge, Gabriel D'Souza, Carlin Thomas, Kevonsi James, Dequania Henry, Zolik Samuel, Brianna Roberts, and Aaliyah London. It's good to see we have a mother-daughter combination today for Wadadli United, George. So play continues. So got a throw in on the eastern side of the field for Wadadli United, and it looks like Janaira Hodge there to take that throw in.
Definitely. So Hodge takes the throw. She has D'Souza plays it. D'Souza the flick around the corner to Benjamin. Benjamin comes around but intercepted by Simmons. Ball is played wide, picked up by Enriquez. Enriquez plays it forward. Ball ricochets and fall at midfield for Samuel. Zolik Samuel plays it to Aaliyah London. Aaliyah London turns it around the corner, but met by Donisha Samuel. picked up by Roberts. Roberts dispossessed by Simmons. Simmons going forward. But Henry did a good job of getting her foot across there. And here we have it now for cutting edge with Enriquez. Enriquez looking for options. Still Enriquez tries to go past Hodge. Still Enriquez going ball is still in play. But Thomas tries to clear. And the ball is ricocheted off Enriquez is into touch.
I think because of the heat, George, both teams would do well to try to pace themselves in the early parts of the game and then try their very best to maintain possession. Because this heat is very unforgiving and you don't want to be caught chasing for long stretches of the game.
It's more difficult. Roberts, Hodge. The poor pass by Roberts and it went to Hodge. And he's a train for cutting edge. And Khadija Proctor and Benjamin was wrestling for that one, but Benjamin did enough to shield it outside for a goal kick for her team. It's a goal kick now for Wadadli United to be taken by Halves. Halves plays it to Roberts. Roberts opens up her body, takes it forward, plays it into midfield, but met by Samuel. And Samuel was fouled just now by Aliyah London, number 18. And Samuel is in a bit of discomfort. Donisha Samuel it is down there on the floor. A bit of discomfort from a heavy challenge there from Aliyah. Aliyah London.
Yes, Aliyah just being a little bit late. Donisha did well to read and intercept that attempted ball being played through the middle. And Aliyah just getting caught on her heels, just a little bit late to react. Unfortunately, she had a lot of contact with Donisha and see now she's getting a little bit of treatment. But it's a bit of a cagey affair, George, and that's quite understandable considering the nature of the situation in terms of the point standings as well as the quality of both teams.
Yes. And also to add to this, it seems like there's no Kanika Buckley in the lineup today for Wadadli United, who has started the previous 3 games at midfield with skipper Benjamin. So it seemed like they had to move Zolik into midfield to compensate for the absence of Kanika Buckley.
And that would be a huge miss for Wadadli United. I mean, Kanika, by my estimation, would have been one of the best midfielders in the competition on show so far. So undoubtedly, that's going to be a huge miss for Wadadli United and something that they're going to have to look to address in terms of how they function and how they play without Kanika today.
Yes, so Donisha Samuel is being escorted off the pitch by physio Durant Mead, and she's moving rather gingerly, Zico. Looking like it might be the end of it here for her, but we give her a few minutes to see if she could shake this one off and make a return. Free kick to be taken by Abisha Henry. She strikes this one at goal, but Halves is well aware and up to the task and gets out, picks it off, rolls it out to D'Souza. And D'Souza turns, tries to play it forward, but met by Tassia Benjamin. Tassia Benjamin coming with it. And there's some pressure from D'Souza, and she runs into Hodge, and ball goes into touch off of Benjamin for throwing to.
I think that's going to be a really good matchup today, George. Gabriel D'Souza against Tassia and Benjamin. I'm really looking forward to see how that one plays out. I think that could very well be the difference in the game in terms of a result for either team.
Well, definitely, Nazi. I think this game today is either going to be won by Irisha Allen for cutting edge, or it's going to be won by Gabriel D'Souza for the Wadadli United teams. I think those are the 2 most dangerous players on the pitch, whether they're going to score themselves or create for their teammates this afternoon. And it's already been shown that both coaches have made it quite clear that they're going to use these 2 players as their pathway to the opponent's goal. So play continues here at the ABFA Technical Center with a throw
to Cutting Edge FC, controlled by Jordan Enriquez, but she would have been dispossessed by Hodge. However, an errant pass back into midfield. Bit of ping pong action, but Brianna picks it up and plays it out to Cavancia James, who picks her head up and tries to go on a run.
Yes, and James was dispossessed. Here we go now with Simmons. Simmons looking to take on Robert. She does it, but there was some covering defending by Henry, but Henry loses out to Allen. Allen has it now 1v1 with Roberts. Allen trying to shake Roberts, looking for help. She gets past Roberts. She tries to cross this one in, but it floats harmlessly over the goal line, Zico, and into touch, Zico. So as I said earlier, definitely we could see where these teams are trying to go and through whom to try to get themselves a goal in this game, because I believe this game might be a 1-0 Z. Who scores first probably might run away with it. And this one is played short to Thomas. Thomas under some pressure by Enriquez. Thomas looks to play to Hodge, gets it to Hodge. Hodge with a good touch, facing forward. Hodge tries to go inside to Aliyah London, but intercepted by Enriquez, and the ball rolls into touch for throwing to Wadadli United. So there's some hands on hips early out, but still the game is at a fairly decent pace.
Yes, I mean, we are into the 11th minute of play, and again, I mean, it's brutal in terms of the heat. So credit must be given to the girls for playing and putting in maximum effort in less than ideal conditions.
Yes, most definitely. When instructions already been shouting from both benches, Coach Nabu Samuel sitting comfortably under the dugout outside of the sun and giving his instructions, and Coach Joella Potter Isaac is here with her Richie Richardson felt, what you call it, floppy broad cap on.
Floppy cap.
And there was a foul just now committed by James. Sorry, on Zolique Samuel.
Bit of remonstration by the Wadadli United bench, because there was a flag off of a throw, but unfortunately for them, assistant Penny Feather would have signaled for an infringement, for a foul on Gabriel D'Souza. So, you know, things have been calmed down a little bit. Obviously, there's no offsides off of a throw, but young Penny Feather spotting an infringement and quite rightly doing his job as an assistant referee, assisting in the play.
Most definitely. Simmons with it now for Cutting Edge. Simmons under some pressure from Aliyah London, but still Simmons gets it to teammate. Now it's for Allen. Allen back to number 13. Number 13 to Allen. But a quick intervention there by Henry, number 12 for Wadadli United, to poke this one into touch. And we have a throw-in for Cutting Edge to be taken by Jarvis. Marcia Jarvis it is. Marcia Jarvis. My apologies.
Yes, I think Coach Nabu Samuel will be looking for Marcia to bring a little bit of speed, a little bit of aggression on that right side of midfield to assist in taking some of the pressure off of Irisha on the offensive side of things.
And there goes Gabrielle D'Souza. She gets past Abisha Henry, but it's a great tackle, great tracking, never gave up on the play, stayed toe for toe with the speedy D'Souza there, Abisha Henry, and getting a lovely tackle in. You know, reminiscence of my good days, tracking down strikers and putting that final touch in. Well done by Abisha Henry there just now, Z.
That's excellent defensive play from Abisha. I mean, last week she came up with a brilliant free kick to extend a team's lead, and today showing her worth on the defensive side of things. We've seen Gabrielle D'Souza run past so many players so very often, and it's really good to see Abisha having the patience and the understanding to keep tracking her and getting in that tackle.
Kind of taken shot by Benjamin, but Benjamin tries to shoot, and this one floats harmlessly over Hodges' goal and into touch for a goal kick to Cutting Edge. Cutting Edge really playing really good today, Zico. I like the way in which they are playing in good shape. There's always somebody at midfield. There's always good coverage. But here we go with Demisha. Demisha plays it for Tassia Benjamin, but this one was touched last by Tassia Benjamin, and it goes into touch for a throw-in for Hodge. James, Kevin, so James turns it inside, challenges by Zoli, but comes away with it. Simmons looking for option, but there wasn't much. He gets it to Allen, but Allen was fouled just now by Benjamin and Henry. So there's a free kick just midway at the half line for Cutting Edge, and I'm sure this one will be taken by Abisha.
Yes.
Abisha seems to have a lash on it. But
what's interesting, George, I don't know if you noticed, both coaches are really in tune with what's happening. So there was a switch. Gabriel D'Souza switched to the left side to try to take advantage of the mismatch in Donisha Samuel, and as expected, Coach Nabu Samuel countering that switch by switching Tassian to that left side and bringing Donisha to the left side of defense. So it's going to be interesting how it plays out.
But here goes D'Souza. D'Souza's on the run being chased by Benjamin. D'Souza has London inside as an option, but Benjamin never gave up, and fantastic defending there again by Benjamin. Picked up by Demisha Samuel. Samuel plays it out to Jarvis. Jarvis tries to play it forward. Still with Jarvis. Jarvis gets it to Proctor. Proctor with one over the top. But there was Roberts. Ball falls to Allen. Allen has it. Allen comes around too. Allen looking for options. She has Jarvis, plays a lovely ball through the space to Jarvis. Jarvis is only looking for help, but there's nobody in the box for Jarvis. Jarvis waits, but Jarvis is under some pressure by Benjamin. Now it's with Roberts. Roberts plays it forward. Picked off by Gus, but Roberts get back, plays it wide to James. James has Demisha, goes past Demisha. James still going, looking for option, but it's James against 3. No help for James. James tried to shoot to goal, and there's a save by Hodge. So that was some good enterprising play just now by James Zico, taking on Donisha Samuel and getting past her with some relative ease, but she didn't have no options inside to play with, so she elected to take a shot and goal, but keeper Hodge was in good saving position and made a save.
Yes, a good counter-attacking opportunity there for Wadadli United FC, taking advantage of the overload. You see Cutting Edge, they were in good possession and then tried to overload that left side. Donisha started pushing up into midfield looking for that crossfield ball, unfortunately losing possession in the process and leaving all that space on that right side, which Cavancia James did a fantastic job trying to exploit. But however, Amaya Hodge being in a relatively good position at her near post to deal with that danger.
And definitely, there we have the physio for the Wadadli United team giving some on-field treatment there to what looks to be RJ London, who seems to be having a bit of problem with her right shoulder. But for just now, Zico, as you said, both coaches are well in tune with what's going on and who is the danger player and who might be best suited to close out these danger players. And I see that Wadadli United made a switch with James, Cavancia James, and Gabriel D'Souza, and Coach Nabu Samuel doing his due diligence by moving around his wing backs also to make sure that these players are stayed into
likely a commentary without the context of the match.
Yes, so definitely show both coaches showing obviously their intent, but also their football acumen as well, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I firmly believe that a lot of times we lose sight of the fact that coaches on the sideline need to start winning their individual coaching battles. As a coach, we usually ask players to win their battles on the field, but for us, we also have to bear in mind that we are in direct competition against another coach, understanding what their strengths are, understanding what they're doing, looking at what they're doing. Can we counter? Can we put them under pressure? Can we force them to make changes that they may be uncomfortable making? So it's refreshing to see that this is being played out, and hopefully that's something that we continue to notice, not just in the women's game, but just generally across the board.
Yes, definitely. So here we go with Tassia Benjamin. She gets past her marker, plays this one into space, but Roberts was there, intercepted by Roberts to Benjamin. Benjamin has some time on it, gives it to Henry. Henry plays it into Samuel. Samuel turns lovely, has some time and space, and utilizing it well. Being confronted by Samuel, but didn't get past Samuel. Balls fall for Thomas. Thomas tries to play this one through the gap for James, but goalkeeper Hodges out of the goal, definitely. I think today for cutting edge, I think Khadija Proctor has to take a little more responsibility in terms of playing the ball forward and staying on it a little bit longer at times. But here we go with Allen. Allen is on the run. Allen is in front. Allen takes a shot, but well placed. The halves and halves made the save comfortably. But back to what I was saying, Z, in terms of Proctor being able to stay in the ball a bit longer and not just giving it up as soon as she gets it. You know, just like what Benjamin is doing for the Wadadli United team. If she stays in it a little longer and invites some pressure and then make a pass instead of just making a early pass or a longer pass and using the space in front, I think she could be a bit more dangerous for cutting edge.
Yes, I think she really has to take the game by the scruff of the neck and control the pace, especially in this heat as well. Dictate procedures, control the pace. Once it's at her feet, I mean, we know her qualities, and she's not going to lose it unnecessarily, but I think she needs to be a little bit more expansive in her play, and a little bit more creative in her decision making in terms of her passes, because that's really one of the ways that cutting edge can stay in this game and also possibly win it.
And this one is played around the corner by D'Souza for London, but London and Samuel was in a foot race. Samuel comes away with it, still Samuel with some time. Samuel picks up her head, plays this one to Tassian Benjamin. Benjamin comes around the corner, plays it to Simmons. Simmons with a great touch, has runners, takes a bit of time before she plays that pass, plays it to Allen anyway. Allen is with it. Allen tries to whip it across goal, but met by Thomas. Thomas picks up her head, plays it into midfield, but here August is here with it. August looking for some options. She has options in Jordan Enriquez. A lovely ball to Jordan Enriquez, but Jordan Enriquez was in an offside position, and I know your gaze are grinding there, Zico. I know your gaze are grinding there, knowing that Enriquez could have seen right across the line, and she was caught sleeping in an offside position.
Yes, that's my pet peeve, George, my pet peeve. But again, I mean, Jordan's one of our younger players. And, you know, that comes with time and that comes with experience. I mean, we see it from older players and more mature players in the game as well. But it's just something that she has to be mindful of as far as her football IQ as she develops, not just physically, but her technical and her tactical acumen.
Yeah, most definitely. Here we go with Enriquez. Enriquez being challenged by Benjamin. Benjamin turns and plays one around the corner to James, but a poor touch by James, and he goes into touch for throwing for cutting edge. And there we have it, Zico. The referee signal there, the first water break of the first half. So both teams will get a chance there to get some refreshment in and recuperate, takes a bit of breath. As I said, Desi, if Khadija Proctor takes a bit more time and she's making the safe pass, the pass that allows her not to lose the ball. And I'm saying is I don't have a problem with playing the safe pass, but then there's a line between the safe pass and the right pass, or the pass that could be more dangerous. And I think if she takes that chance in playing the pass that is most dangerous, or the pass that could get her team in a better position to go on and try to score or to get a little further from their goal, I think that will help the cutting edge team a lot more than she just winning it here and playing it to the wing back or playing it to a central midfielder and making it safe. Because she has enough time, she has enough talent and enough experience to be able to take an extra second or two to make a better pass, which will be getting her team forward. And that's mainly the aim of your central midfielders, to protect your back four and also to try to help you to get in the attacking third of the field.
I think I totally agree with you, Joe, and I also think that Brianna Gus needs to really get into the game as well. And that's interesting because both Brianna and Khadija, in my estimation, are good enough, but they also need to look at the opponent and look at what the opponent is missing. Can we take 3 points off of this team with the absence of a Kanika Buckley? So for me, those two players should be dominating proceedings. They should be imposing themselves on the game a little bit more, bearing in mind that they don't have that extra defensive work that they would have had to do with Kanika in the lineup. Can we impose ourselves on them? We have our full complement of midfielders. They don't. Can we use that as an advantage? And speaking to your point, can Khadija look to drive the team forward a little bit more, be a little bit more brave, be a little bit more aggressive in her approach, but also can Brianna play off of Khadija a little bit more and add that firepower coming in behind Irisha Allen? We've seen Irisha, her usual self, willing to run, willing to stretch the defense, but what's happening after I stretch the defense is my number 10 squeezing in that space behind, so it gives me an opportunity for a quarter. Can I whip it across the goal and allow one of my players to get in behind? So I think the game is balanced where can those two midfielders for Cutting Edge take advantage of the absence of Kanika Buckley, or are they going to allow Wadadli United, not being at full strength, so to speak, to stay in the game and make things difficult for them?
Well, yes, most definitely, Zico, and that's a bit of fantastic analysis there and explanation on what is. But for the Wadadli United team, they having they have Zolik Samuel there now in midfield in the absence of Buckley. And I think Zolik has the same type of energy level. I don't think her vision is as good as Kanika's in terms of passing and playing forward, but I think she has good energy. She has a good understanding of the game. So it's kind of phase off there at midfield in my estimation. And then there's Aliyah London, who is the replacement for Buckley in midfield, who's we saw score 2 goals in the first game for the Wadadli United FC team. So in all that, I think it's kind of even out. What I think probably could help the Wadadli United FC, as we just touched on, what Proctor could do for Cutting Edge is Benjamin stop going so deep into defense to pick it up and then has to come the full length of the pitch to get to midfield and try to get the ball in higher areas where she could be a lot more dangerous. And those kind of things is what we're looking for here.
It seems like, again, then this is what happens when coaches are forced to replace players. I think with the absence of Kanika Buckley, who traditionally is more of that defensive player, Jada has been forced to drop and screen that back four and have a little bit more defensive responsibility. But play continues. Jada Benjamin looking to find Arja London in behind, but well positioned there by Abisha Henry. Ball rolls across comfortably to Amaya Hodge, who picks up. Hodge boots it into midfield. Brianna August takes it under control. Neat turn, however, an errant pass cut out there by Carleen Thomas. So it's with Samuel, fortunately, not being able to control. Zolik Samuel into the feet of Arja London. Turns nicely and finds Kevancia James streaking down the right side.
But Kevancia was met by Samuel. Samuel wins that one, tries to play it forward to another Samuel, but met by Samuel also. There's a lot of Samuels on this pitch on both ends of the pitch, both sides of the pitches.
On both sides.
We're going to have to get the first names correctly, innit?
So we have Denisha and Donisha
Samuel
for Cutting Edge, and then we have Zolik Samuel for Wadadli United.
Zolik Samuel with it at midfield, looking for options. Has a brilliant run by D'Souza. D'Souza is there, but and a lovely goal there by D'Souza. Benjamin was a bit late and getting to D'Souza. And as we said earlier, Zico, in order for this game to be won or to be lost, it has to be one of these two players at either team. And so far, D'Souza has delivered for her. So that was just a bit of fantastic analyzation here, Zico, on recognizing who could be the danger player for each team. And D'Souza capitalizing on a mistake there by the Cutting Edge midfield, allowing Zolik to have enough time and space to pick that pass, and a brilliant run by D'Souza, and D'Souza took that one home quite comfortably past Hodge.
Yes, so Zolik there finding space and finding the streaking run of Gabriel D'Souza, and D'Souza being able to split the center back pairing and comfortably, all things being considered, with pressure on her back, comfortably showing her quality, showing her worth, slotting it past Amaya Hodge, was, I think, just a little bit late coming off a line, George, I would say. Not to take anything away from Gabriel's finishing, but I think Amaya was caught just a little bit on a heel and was unable to come out quickly to close down that space. And
the great turn by Samuel there at midfield for thing, but here it is August for Cutting Edge, plays this one around the corner. D'Souza and Hodges and Chase, Enriquez and Hodges in chase here. Hodge gets there first, but a poor touch by Hodge, and this one goes into touch across the goal line. For the first corner kick, it is equal some 28 minutes in. Or is it the first corner kick for Cutting Edge?
First for Cutting Edge. Wadadli United had one early in the game. So that goal by Gabriel D'Souza in the 28th minute of play to give Wadadli United FC the slimmest of leads in this Calvinia Foundation ABFA 2025 Women's Premier League at the ABFA Technical Center.
Yeah, most definitely, Zico. And I must say it's been an interesting league so far in terms of the play, in terms of teams' development, in terms of coaching instructions, you know, and corner taken to Samuel. Samuel tries to give it back to Irisha Allen, but he's a bit in front of her. And she taking responsibility and taking it. So she tries to play it back, and the ball goes into touch for a goal kick here for the Wadadli United FC. I'm thinking, Zico, what, some 10-11 minutes to go of regulation time here, given the water break as part of the extra time. I'm here with a slim edge, as you just clearly said, here to the Wadadli United team. Harves plays it shot to Thomas. Thomas take on Enriquez. Sit down with some pressure, but plays it into Aliyah London. A great touch by Aliyah London. Lovely one-touch football here by the Wadadli United team. It's been played wide now to James. James plays it back to Aliyah London. Lynn London had the runner, but well marshaled by Abisha Henry. Picked up by Henry. Henry tries to play his one forward, but lashes a teammate flush in the face. And you know how it goes when when players are struck in the face, referees deem to stop play.
Immediate halt to proceed. It's just unfortunate. It was a good clearance, good solid clearance by Abisha Henry. Just unfortunate that Donisha got caught in the line of fire. But what's interesting, George, is to see how this game plays out now. Clearly, with Cutting Edge chasing the game, we are expecting to see Donisha Samuel push up to give a little bit support to try to get that goal back. How much is Cutting Edge going to be able to cover that space being left on the left side? And obviously that's going to be somewhere that Wadadli United would look to exploit with the pace and the directness of Cavancia James. So things still in the balance. It's going to be interesting how that plays out, because I think this is where the game can be lost or won. If Cutting Edge manages to pull one back, then things can be a little bit more balanced. But can they do that without giving up the second one?
Well, most definitely. And also, too, as we said earlier, in terms of the coaching ploys here implemented by Coach Nabasam, in terms of having Benjamin marking D'Souza, and I find D'Souza getting a bit more free now because she's coming across the middle of play, and you know that's a difficult switch up, meaning you don't want to move none of your centre backs out to a wing back position because D'Souza now is playing through the middle. So I think now the responsibility has to be either you go to a back three and make Benjamin stay as a man-to-man marker on D'Souza, or you trust in your defender in some cases. In the men's game, we would trust that our centre backs will be able to manage D'Souza if D'Souza was a wing and she slips inside, or he slips inside. But I think in all fairness, Nabi is a brilliant tactician. I'm sure his mind is running races there, trying to come up with a positive solution in terms of trying to get a goal back and also trying to make sure his team does not concede another one. For some instances, I want to believe at central midfield is where they're losing this one in terms of the creativity. Mm-hmm. I think step for step they're not bad, but in terms of the creativity and the midfielders getting the ball in the right areas to be able to make effective passes or dangerous passes, we call it, it's more falling towards the Wadadli United team. And we saw from that goal with Zolik Samuel getting it in a fantastic position, some 20 yards out, and making a lovely pass between two centre-backs into D'Souza to score the first goal.
Yes, I think there has to be some adjustment in the middle of the field in terms of how those two midfielders for Cutting Edge play. If they're going to be a little bit more aggression, can they be on the front foot a little bit more? Can they drive the team forward a little bit more? I think there's a whole lot left in the tank for both Khadija Proctor and Brianna August, and then they have to bring their technical ability to the forefront now, because their team really needs it. And the longer that they keep playing with them themselves, is the further the game gets away, and the more every single possession is going to count. So it's important that those two get a hold of the match before it really gets out of hand, and keep their team in and around the possibility of getting a positive result from this.
Yeah, definitely. What I think is at central midfield, both teams has three players. There's Khadija Proctor, Simmons, and August, for the cutting edge team. And there's Benjamin, Zulik, Samuel, and Aliyah London at midfield. So I think if they match up man for man according to size and ability, I think the games could be a bit more even in terms of that department. And I think August needs to be a bit higher. I think August is going too further down. So Simmons is always higher than August. You understand what I'm saying? So I think if August gets a bit more higher than Simmons, then it becomes a chance. Because look, see, Benjamin gets it, and Benjamin has options at midfield in terms of Samuel and Free. I'm saying pick up a player, be close enough to a player to affect that person from making a good pass. But here we go, a throw in for the cutting edge team. Being taken by Khadija Proctor here for the cutting edge. She has some options in Enriquez. She has Agos. She has Jarvis also here at midfield to collect. She chose it to Agos. Agos flicks it on for Enriquez to chase. Enriquez and Hodge going for it, but Hodge shields it out of play. And this one goes into touch for a throw-in for the Wadadli United team here, Zico. Some good communication instructions being issued on the pitch also, Zico, which is always welcoming as a player to get good instructions and good communication from your teammates. Throw taken to Proctor. Proctor has it. Proctor still has it. Proctor tries to go past two. Met by Thomas. Thomas is trying to shield it, but Thomas with a cheeky bit of a back heel there, Zico, for the ball to roll over the toes of Proctor and into touch for a throw-in. So Thomas will take the throw herself. Carlin Thomas with the throw, big throw by Carlin Thomas into London, but London crashed into Proctor, and referee decides that that one was an infringement on Proctor, and there we have a free kick for the cutting edge team to be taken by Abisha Henry. I think cutting edge need to pile the box in here because Abisha has a good kick and a lot more players coming from the back post. Henry with it, floats it, met by another Henry. Ball falls to Allen. Allen looks to take on Henry. Allen gets past. Still Allen. Allen being covered by Ting. Allen retreats, but looking for help. Still Allen. Toe poked away. Met by Jarvis. Picked up by London. London with a lovely one around the corner to D'Souza. But a bit of a misread there by Donisha Samuel, and she handled that one, and the referee blows for a free kick here to the Wadadli United team. Free kick to be taken by Benjamin. She looking to go long with this one. Benjamin drives it forward, met by Tassian, falls for D'Souza. D'Souza plays it to London. Arja London cuts one, looking for help. Still London looking for some support, but she's under some pressure from Simmons. Loses out to Jarvis. Jarvis is on the run now. Jarvis tries to play it to August, but intercepted by Thomas. Benjamin has it. Benjamin looking for options. Still Benjamin. Benjamin met by Simmons. Still Benjamin though. Benjamin plays it over the top for James. Cavancy James, but James could not get onto the end of that one. And that one rolls into touch for a throw-in for cutting edge. And apparently cutting edge is playing a man short because Demisha Samuel is still suffering from that earlier knock. So she's now off the pitch, hoping to be recalled here by the referee assistant, and she was sent back on. So now cutting edge is back to their full complement of 11 players.
Yes, George, I think the game is still very much poised. We're in the 38th minute unofficially of the first half. Unfortunately, we're expecting a little bit more than the usual stoppage time because of the injury to Donisha Samuel. But clearly the first half winding down, and I think Wadadli United will be looking to go into that first half in the lead, and Cutting Edge will be looking to try to grab something before trying to grab something in terms of a goal before the first half expires.
Then the train taken to August, then Enriquez, but Enriquez is met by Hodge, picked up by Roberts. Roberts to Samuel. Samuel tries to play this one forward, but intercepted by Cutting Edge. Proctor is on it, using the body well, plays it to Simmons. Simmons lost out, but cleared by London, and Abisha Henry challenging London with great use of her body, plays it wide to Cavancy James. Cavancy James, a fantastic first touch to get her ahead of everybody, but being chased by Enriquez. Cavancy James plays the cross to D'Souza. D'Souza is under some pressure from Tassia Benjamin. D'Souza still did enough to get it across goal, but there was no one lurking, and picked up by Donisha Samuel, but chased down by James still has it. James coming across the line. James looking for options. Squeeze it back to London. Aliyah London, that is. Poor touch by London and gives Abisha Henry a chance to get a foot in there. He is with Allen now. Irish Allen, but challenged by London. London picks it up. London with a cross. Met by Tassian, but a miscue by Tassian falls her. D'Souza comes on the corner. D'Souza takes a shot, but Hodge was in good position. Oh, and that one slips off the hands of Hodge and into the back of the net. Hodge has been a fantastic performer throughout the past few weeks, Zico. But that one was just a miscue, and I can't say she saw it a bit late because D'Souza came around two defenders and took a right-footed shot to goal, and coming around two defender, Hodge was on. But it's a missighted, Zico.
I think it was a uncharacteristic error there by the usually sure Maya Hodge. I mean, it was hit directly at her. I would imagine hit with a little bit of pace, but nothing that we haven't seen her handle. And based on her body language, you can tell that she is disappointed. You can tell that for her, that's a save that she's comfortable making. I think she may have just switched off a little bit, George, in terms of looking for the next play, in terms of where her distribution was going to be. And I think she just switched off in the last minute, didn't clutch it as she should have, and it spilled. And it was hit with enough pace that it spilled into the back of the net.
And here goes D'Souza again. D'Souza is around two players, but she's been confronted by Benjamin, and Benjamin forced her into a heavy touch. Tassia Benjamin, and Hodge came out and collected that one. Beaten by Hodge, challenged by August and Thomas. Thomas wins that one. Here it is with Jada Benjamin. Jada Benjamin going forward with it for Wadadli United. She has James. James cuts back. James looking for option, plays it into London, but Proctor read it well. Pass it to Donisha Samuel. Samuel tries to play it out to Simmons, but Kevans picked up by Hodge. Jarvis has it now. Jarvis plays it forward. Simmons, Hodge, boots it forward for Wadadli United. Picked up by D'Souza. D'Souza shoots, and this one ricochets off Tassia Benjamin and into touch for a corner kick here to Wadadli United. And I'm sure Wadadli United here during the halftime whistle, Zico, so they're definitely going to take some time off of the clock, hoping that by the time the corner kick is taken, the referee would have blown a whistle for the halftime intermission.
I mean, obviously it's a definite positive for them grabbing that second one before the half. They would have been good going in with a 1-0 lead, but even happier with a 2-goal cushion.
And it was a poor corner taken there by Gabriel D'Souza. This one floated straight into the side netting of the cutting edge goal. So it's a goal kick here for cutting edge, Zico, and cutting edge being down 1-0 should be a little bit more urgent in trying to get the restart. 2-0 down, sorry, my apologies there. But taken quickly by Henry, but the ball was rolling, so the referee did the obvious by stopping the play, calling for a restart. Henry to Tassia Benjamin. Tassia Benjamin coming forward looking for options. Tries to play to Enriquez, but blocked. Abisha Henry has it for cutting edge. Straying forward, plays one over the top. Met by Henry, but ricochets off Henry and goes into touch for a throw-in for the cutting edge team. Yes, that's Ikwanya Henry for Wadadli with a defensive stop, and that one going into touch. Tassia Benjamin trying to steal a few yards.
More than a few, George.
A few, just a few.
Has more than a few.
And it's chucked there to take a few steps, well, quite a few steps back here by the referee. To the correct position to take this show. Tassia Benjamin with the throw-in, met by Zolik Samuel, heading that one into touch. So instead of stealing a few yards now, the ball goes out of play. A few yards up now, Zico, so she's a bit closer. Hopefully, I don't think Cotton is making enough effort to get bodies in position where they could win free kicks or get goal scoring opportunity. Everybody going towards the bar, but Benjamin takes the throw to August. August back to Benjamin. Benjamin being challenged by Benjamin, and this one ricochets into touch for another throw into cutting edge here.
There needs to be a little bit more bravery from the cutting edge attacking players. I think everyone at this point is content with someone else getting into that attacking position. But I think if they really want to get into this game, there has to be There has to be that bravery. There has to be that extra effort. There has to be that effort to get into the box, because that's where you're going to get goals. I mean, and the truth is, outside of the free kick from Abisha Henry, I think all of Cutting Edge's goals have come in and around the box from crosses, players crashing centrally and on the back post. So that has to be how they try to get back in this game, and that can only happen if we have bodies in the box. We've noticed Irisha Allen getting down the line a couple of times, Jordan Henriquez getting past a marker on a couple of occasions, but there's been very few options in the box in terms of targets, and if they're going to get back in the game, that's something that they have to address and adjust.
Yes, and there we have it. The halftime whistle has been blown by referee Chanel Burton here, and the score is 2-0 to Wadadli United. Comfortably, I must say, Wadadli United has gotten the better of the chances in the first half. They have taken full advantage of these chances, but one of the things I've been noticing too, especially with the Cutting Edge team, the switch between Irisha and Jarvis, and I think Irisha is most dangerous going up the middle. I don't know if that's a call by the coach for them to make that switch, but I think they are more dangerous when Irisha runs through the middle other than coming from wide, because when they come from wide, they have to come into goal. And if you're going through the middle, you're going straight on goal. And I think Irisha would serve Cutting Edge a lot better if she plays up the middle, let Jarvis play more on the right. I saw the coach earlier, some 5 or 7 minutes ago, made a switch between Allen and Enriquez, moving Enriquez from the left to the right and bringing Allen across. But for me, I'm not, as I said before, I have great belief in the tactics of Coach Nabu Samuel. I'm just saying, from my point of view, I would try my best to keep Irisha Allen more down the middle of the field, and that would be because she has pace over both central defenders, and she has fantastic footwork, and she can strike the ball. So I think she'd be more best served coming through the middle other than coming from a flank.
I agree with you, George, and more importantly, down the middle, she has one player to beat and she's away, as opposed to coming out wide. She has to deal with a fullback and possibly a centre back in covering position, plus having to shoot from a really acute angle. So hopefully, Coach Nabu Samuel sees it the way we do, and we can see Irisha being pulled back to more of a central role and allow her to use her pace, get in behind, try to run away from those defenders, see if she can pull one back early and bring the team back into play.
Right, so just a quick recap before we take our halftime break here. This is our encounter in the Calvin Ayre ABFA Women's Premier League between the Cutting Edge FC and Wadadli United FC. Wadadli United FC has a 2-goal lead through the strikes from Gabriel D'Souza in the 28th and 40th minute. So please stay tuned, and we'll be right back with the second half of some more entertaining female football here at the ABFA Technical Center.
Discover the Caribbean from a new perspective with Calvin Ayre Helicopters. Call us today at 789-4354 or email reservations@calvinair.com. From providing access to higher learning, fostering young talent in music, to supporting youth development initiatives, the Calvin Ayre Foundation is playing a pivotal role in nurturing the potential of tomorrow's leaders.
See, this is good. All the middle is good. Unless she start out here, when the ball plays, she just pass the line. Because they don't come and mark she man for man, they can't. Risha Allen, Simmons, August, Khadija Proctor, you know, a little bit better, including Jordan Enriquez, and just getting a few balls, just getting up the line and getting some crosses in and bodies in that area to attack it. So, for me, in this situation, I would try to force August to play a bit higher. Even if it looks like she's playing a striker, that would be all right for me because it is a shorter run to get into the box.
Right.
You know, and hopefully we could get Allen to start a bit wider and make runs in them because I think she'll beat anyone out there, give and take, in a foot race.
I think she would have been starved for service a little bit in the first half, and I think that's where Wadadli United FC have pretty much won the game. That midfield play, and we alluded to that in the early portion of our broadcast, and it seems it's obvious for Cutting Edge FC to get back into this game. Midfielders have to be involved in the likes of Khadija Proctor.
The ball over the top, and August is on this one. It's skipped past. It's skipped past everyone, including goalkeeper, halves in goal here for the Wadadli United. But there was the covering of Jada Benjamin to pick up that one. But Jada Benjamin was chucked by Jordan Enriquez down on the far side, and Jordan got the throw in, and this one goes into throwing to Wadadli United FC.
That was a good ball over the top by Abisha Henry, covering the Wadadli United FC defense, but obviously the wet conditions now means that the girls have to make an adjustment in terms of bouncing balls, in terms of driven passes, in terms of balls being played through. Specifically, anything in the air is going to drop, it's going to skid, so they have to be able to play that bounce and anticipate where the ball is going to end up as opposed to where it is going to bounce.
Most definitely. We have a train for Cutting taken by Proctor to August. August is in the box here, she turns, but August is being harassed by Roberts, and Roberts does enough to allow this one to roll over the goal line for a goal kick here to the United.
But I think that was the chance that the Cutting Edge FC would have wanted early in the second half, and it's just unfortunate that the goalkeeper came out and missed, but there was no one on the back post to capitalize on that error.
Yes, and I think one goal in this encounter would make it a whirly of a game here this afternoon, but we'll just have to wait and see that one goal comes for Cutting Edge or it becomes the third goal here for Wadadli United. So Hall started shot to Thomas. Thomas takes a touch, opens up her body, goes to her right, has options, plays it down the line to the Souza, but met by Proctor. Still Proctor. Proctor is on it. A brilliant pass by Proctor through the middle to August. August turns, but she was being crowded by some three defenders. And this one played forward here now is a foot race between Gabriel D'Souza and Donisha Samuel. She plays it around, but still gets back to it. She plays it across here for London, RJ London. She cuts inside to her right foot, cut back. Otasia Benjamin takes a shot, but a brilliant block by Benjamin and cleared by Henry. This one falls to Khadija Proctor at midfield. Proctor turns, has time, getting forward. Proctor tries to play this one over the top to Thomas, but blocked, fall back for Thomas. plays into midfield for Simmons. Simmons goes past one. Still Simmons on the run. Still Simmons on the run. Simmons cuts two defenders. Plays it for Jarvis. It falls Allen. Allen just put forward. But there was some covering there by picked by James. Kevin said James gets past Allen. Has some time. Plays it into Zolik. But met by Demisha Samuel. This one is Jarvis now. Jarvis tries to play it out, but picked up by Cavancia James. Cavancia James goes to D'Souza. Great touch by D'Souza. D'Souza is being chased by Tassia Benjamin. D'Souza is in. And this one goes into Zico. That's definitely should have been a goal there by D'Souza to raise a tally off. Zico and give a team a more commanding lead.
Credit must be given, however, to Amaya Hodge, and I think that was the move that needed to be made on that first item by D'Souza. And we see Amaya Hodge not making any mistakes the second time around, coming out, making herself big, closing that angle down and forcing D'Souza to shoot wide of goal.
Yes, Zico. And this one was played into touch by Wadadli, showed into Allen. Allen takes a touch, still Allen on it. Allen rolls it to Abisha. Abisha clears this one upfield, met by Lana, but the poor touch picked up by Demisha Samuel. Demisha Samuel to August. August tries to play a one-time ball over the top, but miscued it. Intercepted by Hodge. No Roberts. Roberts tries to go back to Thomas, but this one ricochets off Thomas and goes to touch for a throw-in for cutting edge. And Proctor is jogging across to take that touch. I think the game has opened up. Zico, the young ladies have had a bit more energy due to the welcoming change of weather here at the ABFA Technical Center. So this today a win for Wadadli United put them sole at the top of the table with 10 points from 4 games. So giving them 3 wins and a draw to end the first half, and would keep Cutting Edge in second place to the minute with a loss, a draw, and 2 wins. And here we go with D'Souza. D'Souza being confronted by 2 defenders. D'Souza's cut one. D'Souza comes across the top. D'Souza is still D'Souza. Hodge is out, but to no avail, and D'Souza calmly tucks this one into the back of the net to give her team a 3-0 league, Zico.
I want to guess in the 11th minute of the second half, the 52nd minute of play. Gabrielle D'Souza extending her team's lead, and that's her hat trick there, George.
Well, yes, yes, it is. It's a hat trick here for
Gabrielle D'Souza. Goals coming in the
28th minute, the 40th
minute, and the 52nd minute of play. So Gabrielle D'Souza now extending her goal scoring tally today to 3. And I want to say her overall goal scoring tally to, 9? We'll have confirmation of that. 8. 8, yes. Yes, we'll have 8 confirmation of that
in a minute.
So play continues. Zolik Samuel trying to play through to Gabrielle D'Souza, but a strong challenge there by Tassian Benjamin, and the ball goes into touch. Looks like it took a deflection of Gabrielle D'Souza, and it's a throw-in for Cutting Edge on the far side of the field. So now we have a substitution being made for Wadadli United. Arja London is being withdrawn, seems to be struggling with a bit of a shoulder injury, and she's being replaced by number 17, Ariane White. So Wadadli United FC calling on the veteran Ariane White to join the fray, boosting a comfortable 3-goal lead. And we've completed some 54 minutes of play in this encounter between Cutting Edge FC and Wadadli United.
Yeah, most definitely. And just to confirm, Zico, yes, that 3 goals here today boosts Gabrielle D'Souza tally to some 8 goals in 4 games here in the ABFA Calvin sponsors Women Premier League. So definitely looking like D'Souza may run away with the golden boots here today, Zico, but you know there's still another 4 games to go in the second round, so we'll see how this one turns out. But we need a bit of energy here, Zico, from the Cutting Edge team. Somebody needs to get a spark, you know, to get them back into this game, or also somebody needs to take command of that back 4, you know, because there's too much 1v1s and 2v2, especially with D'Souza, who is a bit quicker than most of the defenders. But here we go with play. Tassia Benjamin has it. She opens up her body, plays this one over the top, but met by Jada Benjamin. Jada Benjamin challenged by Jarvis. And before it's Roberts plays it out to Cavancia James has time, plays it to Ali London, but it was a poor pass, and it passed the line, and now he's with Simmons tries to play this one down the line for Allen on the chase, but being chased by Henry. Allen cuts Henry, but it ricochets off Henry and goes into touch for throwing for the cutting edge team. Zika, there's too much one-on-one being allowed here by the cutting edge teams in terms of the attacking force.
Yes, I think in their effort to try to pull a goal back, which is expected, there have been a lot of gaps in midfield, and even more gaps in the defensive aspect of things, because we have at least one of the full-backs pushing up, trying to create an overload to create a goal-scoring opportunity, and they've been unable to, one, maintain possession, but their defensive transition has been lacking, and they've been caught out on more than a few occasions in the second half, and as a result, we see Gabby popping up with that third goal of the encounter, first of the second half, to extend her team's lead.
Yeah, most definitely here, Zika. And here we are, substitution. Mauricia Jarvis exiting the game for cutting edge, and I think it's Kamaya Brown, number 8 it is, Z? Is it? Number 8?
Looks that way. Yes, looks like.
Yes, number 8,
Kamaya Brown being introduced, trying to shore up that midfield there, George. Hopefully they can deal with the hemorrhaging and try to pull a goal back sooner rather than later, to try to keep this game manageable and possibly get something out of it. The odds look like it's stacked against them, but football is a game of glorious uncertainties, as they say.
Most definitely. Throwing taken by cutting edge, headed forward by Arian White, met by Benjamin, then Enriquez tries to keep them where she does to Henry plays it forward. Proctor, Ali London takes a strike, but this one will go into touch for a corner kick to Wadadli United FC, and just a bit of complacency there just now, Zika, by goalkeeper Hodge.
I think she's still mentally coming to grips with that mistake on the second goal, and it's really, really difficult when your goalkeeper starts to show those signs where her composure is not where it's supposed to be. I mean, she's the last line of defense, and up until this game, she's had a pretty solid season. But unfortunately, in this instance, I think she's suffering from still being in her head, and it's just one of those situations where, as football players, you need to have really shallow memories, because you got to be ready for the next play. If you're caught up thinking about the one before, then that's where you start to run into trouble.
Definitely. And here we go, picked up by Samuel Zolik. Samuel is true, but Hodges quickly off the line to pick this one up. And here we have a player down in Denisha Samuel. Yes. Denisha Samuel is down here for the cutting edge team, and the referee has jogged over to ask if she needs assistance. And we're just waiting for confirmation if she needs any assistance. But just quickly here, Zico, I think I've seen from the Wadadli United team last week, I thought the game would have been in the light of this, and I think it was a more drawn out, lackluster, more of a strategic battle by coaches than players actually going out and played some quality football, which led to a draw between themselves and Trendsetter. But they came out here this evening with a more positive outlook and gotten some goals from D'Souza, and put now in a very commanding position to take a win here this afternoon. Simmons on it though. Simmons tried to play it forward, but blocked by Cavancia James, and the throw in here for the cutting edge team.
A lot of Wadadli United FC's quality of play is really determined on Gabrielle D'Souza clicking at the top. And last week she was a little bit off her form, and then that led to a little bit harder game than it should have been. But today she's in fine form, and whenever that happens, then Wadadli United generally tends to play, and we generally see the best of them.
Definitely, and she goes again, but a miscue, and this one is picked up by Brown. round to Proctor. Proctor has up time. Proctor tries to play this one over the top to Allen. A bit miscued, but Allen read it and came back, but she couldn't have gotten it under control and goes into touch. Zico, I must say, the introduction of Zolik Samuel at central midfield today has paid real dividends here for the Wadadli United FC team. Given Gabriel D'Souza scored 3 goals, I think Zolik has been the linchpin in this game here for the Wadadli United team at midfield. She's making some fantastic passes forward. She's making good runs into the box. She's making some fantastic defensive play to great anticipation, I must say, from her in quite a few instances. And those are a few of the things that have given Wadadli United the edge here this evening over the Cutting Edge team. Cutting Edge here making a change. Demisha Samuel is off, and entering the game is number 15. But here we go with Wadadli United FC with Gabriel D'Souza. D'Souza cuts back. She has Tassia Benjamin. She plays it off to Cavancia James. Cavancia James under some pressure, turns inside, plays it across to Thomas. But he reaches to Benjamin. Benjamin with a poor touch, but she recovers, shoots to goal, and this one was tipped over bar by Hodge, and there's a corner kick here for the Wadadli United team. Zico. Wadadli United here sporting a comfortable 3-0 lead here in the second half, Zico, and we have played some 60 minutes in to this game here, Zico, and there's a corner kick here for the Wadadli United team to be taken by Gabriel D'Souza. Taken shot to Benjamin. Benjamin has time to pick it up, shoots to goal, and blocked by Khadija Proctor for another corner kick here to the
We've seen this corner kick on multiple occasions, multiple weeks, George, where Gabriel D'Souza finds a streak in Jada Benjamin. And I think at some point someone has to pay attention defensively in terms of taking that option away. And there we see it again. Taking that option away from them, because it has led to goals. It had led to uncomfortable situations, and it's just a matter of time. I firmly believe in being proactive and prevent yourself from being put into those difficult situations as opposed to just seeing it and let it happen. But speaking to your initial point of Zolik Samuel being a linchpin, I mean, she's her pace and her aggression. She's in better shape than the 2 central midfielders for Cutting Edge, and she's really put in a commendable performance this afternoon, and that has been the difference in the game.
Yeah, most definitely. Herself and Cavancia James has run their socks off here for the team this evening, along with skipper Benjamin. But I must say I'm impressed with Zolik's effort. Just now that ball was going into touch, and she ran from across the pitch, Zico, just to make the effort to keep that one in play, because the Cutting Edge team was snoozing and trying to allow that one to roll out, and she got onto it, and it almost turned out to be a scoring opportunity for her team just now. But I say she's putting in a fantastic shift. That's the kind of football we want to see and the kind of effort you want to see, whether it's from the male or female side of the game.
I think this league has come at a very crucial time as well. We can definitely see the players who are setting themselves apart in terms of quality, bearing in mind we have crucial World Cup qualifying games on the female side of the ball coming up. I think this league is serving well in terms of selection opportunities for players. I mean, they're on audition, they're on show every week, they're showing their worth, and hopefully this is being looked at seriously by the coaching staff and the technical staff on the women's side. I mean, we are seeing week in and week out the players who are setting themselves up to be included in that national setup and setting themselves apart. And I would dare say, make the selection process either extremely easy for the coaching staff or extremely difficult if we have enough players who are showing their worth on a weekly basis.
Yes, most definitely, Zeke. And I must say just now, the Cutting Edge was on the attack with Irisha Allenzy, and you saw at least the full back 4 of Wadadli United and the 2 central midfielders chasing back to get 6 players behind them.
Transition defense, and that has been the difference in the game.
Most definitely. I would agree with you 100% on that in terms of the transition. I think, as I say, we said this since the first half, Cutting Edge need to get more players forward. And I guess that all boils down to which team is more fit. A corner by Arisha Allen, there was a good corner. For also Abisha Henry. Abisha turns and shoot. met by the defender, falls to Proctor, but Proctor couldn't have gotten that one under control, and this one was cleared by Aliyah. London booted high and headed by London, but London and Bisha Henry came to a head-to-head collision, and both players are down here, Zico, and this one looks to be really serious here. The physio for both teams and the medics are running onto the pitch here, Zico, to give some attention here to both players.
Yes, so it looks like...
And as you, not to cut you there, Zico, but as you said earlier, in terms of the national setup and the women's game, the World Cup qualifiers coming up later this month here for the Antigua and Barbuda team. And as I say, for me and you standing here watching these girls here, we probably could say from the jump, the 20 or 23 women that we would select in a training squad, and the things that we would be able to work on from just watching this game here. And I'm saying is hopefully the staff of that particular female team is doing what we are doing here. You understand what I'm saying? And hopefully maybe even listen to our show and get some pointers and some advice to help in terms of the development of this team. I'm not saying we are always right from that instance, but I think both of us has played at the international level for a long enough time. Both of us have been around the game for a long enough period to understand the game to some extent. And I have always been one to listen to past coaches and commentators to get an insight on where I need to go and try to make sense out of what they are saying and how can it suit my team best, regardless if I think I'm better than that individual in terms of the job or not. So I'm just hoping that the senior female national team staff, including the coaching staff and the players, watch our podcast and listen to some of the advice and not so much of critique, but the things that some of the players could get better at and do better to help the development of the female game.
What I've noticed, and it has been, I don't want to say a hallmark of our women's game. I think very often we generally have good 8 players who are technically sound and whose fitness levels are where it's supposed to be, and then we start to drop off a little bit once we start going past that. Hopefully we can see a little bit of a change this time around. One of the things that we can definitely benefit from is an increased focus on fitness. I know that sometimes it's really difficult on the women's side of things, but I think we need to get to the point where we stop treating them like females and start treating them like players. The same fitness requirements.
To some extent, more of an athlete than
just players. Yeah. Just players. The same way, the same expectations in terms of fitness we would have for men and boys. I think we need to start looking at it from that perspective. The same way we would approach technical development for the boys and the men, we need to do that on the female side of things, and we need to get past this idea that they're girls and they're different. No, they're players first and foremost. They just happen to be female, but the way we approach the game, our style of coaching needs to be the same, because at the end of the day, that's the only how the improvement is going to come.
Most definitely, Zika. And there was quite a few changes during that injury break there just now. Samuel, there's number 2 Chloe Davis on field here for Cutting Edge, and number 18 it looks like here by Janika Lewis also has entered the game for Cutting Edge here. So Coach Nabo has shown on some young blood.
I see also the number 21 for Cutting Edge, Janique Joseph, as you just mentioned. She would have been introduced as well. I mean, and again, chasing the game at 3-0. It's an interesting time where you can get some players some needed minutes. Obviously, some of those players are going to be necessary during the second round, and it's important for them to be able to get their feet wet early, and so that when they're called upon, it doesn't become something foreign to them.
Yeah, most definitely. So Zico, from a point of view, if from just you being in charge of that female team at this present minute, and you select a 25 or 20 or 30 woman squad, what are in the first maybe 2 to 3 weeks, what would be your main focus in terms of getting your players and them developed and ready From my point of view, I think I'll be working on fitness first and technical execution in terms of controlling the ball, passing the ball, body position, that kind of thing. That would be my first thing, because if you can't control, you can't pass, and you're not fit, we don't really have a chance. So those would be the first things I would start to work on.
I think for me, I'll give you my perspective right after this free kick. Our good friend Abisha Henry is lined up behind one at the top of the box here, George. Can she make it? Can she make it 2 weeks, 2 from 2 weeks in a row? Well, but I'll give you my perspective as far as that approach.
Oh, and Henry touched it off for August, and there was a brilliantly worked free kick there, Zico. Absolutely fantastically worked free kick there by the cutting edge team. We all thought that Abisha Henry was going to take that strike, but she laid it off brilliantly for the astute August there with Brianna August with a left-footed curler, Zico. Straight into goal around the wall, beating goalkeeper Hall. So a 3-1 game lady, Zico, in the 69th minute of play. So the score is now 3-1 in favor of Wadadli United here, Zezi. And do we have enough time here to have a game on, Zico?
Well, regulation, it looks like about 10 minutes left. We know goals generally tend to come in bunches. Can Cutting Edge pull another one back and have the cat among the pigeons, as the English would say, coming down the last 10 minutes of the game?
Yes, definitely. And there's a player down, it looks like Khadija Proctor, who we both know is suffering from a heavy knee injury throughout the last couple of years of her career, you know, and it seems like she had a bad step there just now, and she twisted at it. But as we have this break, Zico, you could give me your take on the previous question.
For me, based on, and this is again not knocking anyone, based on the current standard of the majority of our players, one of the first things I would need to assess as a coach is, am I using this World Cup qualifiers? We can't get out of the World Cup qualifiers, but am I going to make a conscious decision to accept where the players are and look at this as a learning process for the majority of my young players? If the answer to that question is yes, then for me, I'm going to work on fitness. I'm going to focus on technique, like you're saying, but it's difficult to focus on technique when you're looking at a senior team that should be trying to compete. So a decision has to be made as to whether whether the intention is to be competitive or we are starting the rebuilding process. So
just quickly, so on that point, in terms of the decision that has to be made on what is that outcome should be determined by the FA, if they want to rebuild, if the plan is to rebuild, or is the plan to go and compete to try to get out of the group?
I think that needs to be established
by the FA.
That needs to be established by the powers that be. I'm not sure how things are structured on the female side of things, but I think that needs to be the very first decision. If for me, and again, ladies and gentlemen, we just like to point out that this is just our opinions, but in that position, there has to be a decision as to whether we're trying to be competitive in these games or we're starting the rebuilding process, because that is going to determine how everything is approached, from your training sessions to how you structure your team to the expectations. Everything is going to be hinged on whether that decision is to be competitive or that decision is to look at developing some sort of development for your younger players.
Yeah, most definitely. And there was a substitution also for Wadadli United. Number 12 is in the game, Shanika Benjamin. And then we'll give you who exited the game for her entry in just a minute. So we're back in play here. It seems like Cutting Edge is looking to mount an attack here, Zeke, in the last 10 minutes there. Definitely putting on some pressure. But here we go with Ariane White. Ariane White gets past two. She plays this one around the corner for D'Souza, but D'Souza has been adjudged to be in an offside position when this one is being played. Instructions being half back misconstrued here, so we have some slow in play. Abisha Henry will be taking this free kick here for the Cutting Edge team. Cutting Edge has now Zico pushed a few players up top to force that defensive unit of the Wadadli United team to be more alert and more at home than to just be playing in 2s and 3s, Zico. Here we have it with Samuel. Samuel plays it forward. So when played forward, picked up by Cavancia James. James tries to go past Samuel, ricochets and still falls to James. A lovely ball played through for D'Souza, but that line was well held there by Tasia Benjamin. Well held by Benjamin there, and the assistant referee raised the flag quite quickly, Zico, to indicate that there was an offside.
Yes, I think that this tactical switch, this tactical change after the goal, I think that would have been welcome. I want to say 10 minutes earlier. You know, putting this team on a little bit more pressure. Now we're leaving it a little bit late, trying to get 2 more goals in the space of, I want to say, 8 minutes. It's always going to be a tall order against a team like Wadadli United. Yeah, definitely. And it seems like now Wadadli United is playing like with a back 6, because both midfielders, in terms of Benjamin and Zolik Samuel, are very deep now when they have protecting their back 4 and trying to keep. Tasia Benjamin is on the run here. Tasia Benjamin was brought down right on the edge of the 18-yard box, some 2.5 meters outside the 18-yard box, a second more, and that probably would have been awarded. Yes, I think Irisha Allen would be very interested in this. I think the angle sits up nicely, but I think Abisha Henry would be more favored in terms of her legs, in terms of her ball striking ability, and I would want to see Irisha Allen in and among that middle, you know, that area of uncertainty, that congestion, because of her quickness and her agility. Can she get onto something if it bounces loose? You know, so I like that she's pushed up in the middle, and now cutting edge, looking to pack the box. And again, if this came 10 minutes earlier, you know, who knows? The possibilities could have been a little bit different. And yes, and we're definitely be into the 76th minute of play here. And here we go Abisha Henry, but she got a bit under it, and this one flew straight into touch. And a goal kick for the Wadadli United team here, Zico. Yes, I think leading 3 goals to 1. Yes, Abisha's approach was not the best. Her final couple of steps to the ball were a little long, and in the end she had to stretch to get to it, and we knew, you know, once you start stretching in these positions where the ball is most likely going to end up. Yes. So the goal kick to be taken here, taken shot to Roberts. Robert has some time. Robert comes around the corner looking for some help. She finds Cavancia James. James has options in Roberts and Samuel, but she made a bad pass. And the ball falls just now for Brown, but Brown played it straight back to Wadadli United. Here's Samuel, Demisha Samuel on it, and Demisha Samuel kicks it off of Cavancia James, and it's a throw-in for the cutting edge team here at Zico. I think the game has really livened up here in the last 10 minutes of play or so. Zico for the most part. So here we have it. Cavancia James, she turns, plays it forward. One falls for D'Souza, but D'Souza was in an offside position here once again, Zico. That's like 3 offsides now, Zico, in the last 6 minutes here on Gabriel D'Souza. She needs to be a bit more aware. She's beating everybody for at least 60% in pace here, Zico, so she can give herself a half a yard or a yard or 2. I think she can give this back for a yard or 2 and still beat them to it. So there's really no excuse for her running in that offside position so frequently. But this one is with Ariane White. Ariane White has it. She's trying to keep possession. She does. Plays it to Thomas. Thomas plays this one down in the channel, but Abisha Henry gets there first. Abisha turns, looks to take on White. Plays it off White. Oh no, it's kept in by White. Henry goes through it, and Henry is clattered into by Hodge, it looks like. And Hodge was definitely flattened. We also see Daniel D'Souza is on the pitch there, but the referee has blown and has not indicated who the infringement is on. So we're waiting to see, because that one was clearly Abisha's ball, and the defender came in, and both of them slammed into each other. But I think there was a push. I think there was a push in the back of Abisha, and she clattered into the diminutive, the very diminutive Amaya Hodge, who took the full brunt of that. But play resumes with a free kick on the far side, and Abisha Henry standing behind of it. And Abisha plays this one forward, headed on by Agos.
up in the air, but met by a few defenders. It falls for D'Souza. Daniel D'Souza is on the run. The ball is with Gabriel. Gabriel plays it over for Daniel, but was met by Samuel. Got back by D'Souza again and played again. Cleared by Samuel to Abisha. Abisha has time, looks up, plays this one over the top for Proctor. Proctor is on the run. Proctor is on the full run, but this one was a bit too hard for Proctor, and it goes straight into the feet of goalkeeper Half. She plays it wide to Cavancia James. Cavancia James takes on cutting edge player, gets past her. Still Cavancia James being confronted by another player, gets past that one. Comes across very bravely there, Samuel. And Samuel kicks this one into touch.
Coach Nabu Samuel almost getting his marching orders there from Chanel George. Quick apology seems to appease the situation.
Well, as you could, most people enjoy hearing that someone else is wrong. So, it tends to calm the situation down a bit more. But here we are with Allen. Allen goes past one, but she was challenged. It's a poor touch, intercepted by Zolik Samuel. Now he's with the number 12, Thomas, but met by Tassie and Benjamin. Benjamin goes around Thomas quite easily. Still Tassie on the run, plays it into Allen. Allen tries to play back Benjamin, but I think Allen should have taken a touch there and came away with it, but unfortunately, this one goes into touch and is a throw-in for Wadadli United FC. And there we have a player down. It looks like the skipper for Wadadli United FC, Jada Benjamin.
She's put in some good yards today, George. Just looks like she's suffering from a little bit of cramps. And as expected, the combination of the heat and the mileage, and she's really put in a good shift. I would say, screening her back for cutting out the danger when necessary, looking to springboard the attack once her back four would have won it in terms of a combination play with Zolik Samuel. I think those two have really been the difference in the game. Yes, you get that hat trick from Gabby, which is great, but those scoring opportunities don't come without the play of Benjamin and Zolik Samuel in the middle of the field.
Most definitely. So here we are with Allen. Allen goes past, so she's looking for some help. She plays it forward for the number 21, but Joseph and picked off by Samuel. Samuel plays it to, then ball goes to White, but White with the poor touch and it goes straight to the goalkeeper. Zika, we are definitely in the 80th minute of play here. We not too sure about the amount of extra time that will be played here. So here we are with August. August tries to play this one to Allen. Allen with a great first touch. Allen is in, but she's going away from goal. Allen cuts back, but Roberts with some nifty defending, and Roberts got a touch in it, and seems like Benjamin is down again. So the referee blow to stop play so that Benjamin could receive some treatment,
I think.
So Zico, just quickly, as we approach the end of this game here, with Wadadli United having a comfortable 3-0 lead through the attacking prowess of Gabriel D'Souza scoring a hat-trick, scoring in the 28th minute, the 40th minute, and the 52nd minute of play, and for cutting edge, August scoring in the 69th minute to give them some sort of lifeline. Your take on the game in on the whole?
I think Wadadli United was clearly the better team on show. Commendable effort by Cutting Edge FC. Unfortunately, we're seeing the difference in the fitness, the noticeable difference in the fitness of both teams, and that has played a massive part. I mean, obviously, both Jada Benjamin and Zolik Samuel being a little bit more mobile than their counterparts for Cutting Edge, and they really impose themselves, and we mentioned that at the top of our broadcast, that the game is going to be hinged on the midfield play of both teams. Cutting Edge had a really good opportunity of trying to take advantage of the fact that Kanika Buckley would have been out for this game, but Zolik would have given a really good account of herself in the middle of the field. And those two, for me, have made the difference in this game. The consolation goal coming a little bit too late. I think if Cutting Edge had managed to score that initial opportunity that eluded Joel Have, gotten it 3-1, 5-6 minutes on resumption, I think it could have been a different turnout. However, that consolation goal coming a little bit too late, just about 10 minutes left in the encounter, and we noticed Cutting Edge, trying to press things after that. But, game time not being on their side, and as well as the Wadadli United FC trying to shut things down, being composed, getting numbers behind the ball, as you mentioned, dropping into a back six at times, just to ensure that we don't have a crazy finish coming down to the end of the match.
Most definitely. I like that analysis there, Zeke, and how you laid that one out in terms of the midfield play to favour the Wadadli United team, because that was definitely the difference, including, I must say, Cavancy James with a very, very high work rate as usual out here on the flank. But our next thing to Zico, what I enjoy also too, when I used to play at the game and I played for Antigua, I always wanted to be able to stand out amongst the rest, meaning I'm a national player in national training. When I play, you're supposed to tell that this player plays for the national team or is a part of the national setup. And we definitely saw that today from Jada Benjamin, Roberts, Cavancy James,
Gabriel
D'Souza. We saw a good play from Abisha Henry, Tassian Benjamin, Irish Allen. So you could definitely tell that these players are national players, and which is marketing good for the games, and whoever is the physio who is doing a fantastic job to get these girls in good shape, and also the coaching staff doing some decent work, because their technical ability has definitely improved from first game up until now.
I agree with you there, George. And I mean, again, as mentioned, this league coming at a very timely interval, because it provides the young ladies with an opportunity to showcase their talent, and it also provides the coaches with, there's nothing like competitive games that you can use for assessing where your players are.
Yeah, mostly.
And I think that is important, and hopefully that's something that the technical committee on the female side of things can take advantage of.
I agree with you in that regard, Zico. And as my good friend Bobby used to tell me, every time I step on the pitch, I plan to be better than the next national player that's on the pitch. And for me, when he told me that, that gave me a sense of, I'll get back to that. The day we have a day, the whistle blown for the end of this game here between Cutting Edge and Wadadli United FC, with Wadadli United FC running away with a 3-1 win here to put themselves in pole position here in the ABFA Calvin sponsors Women Premier League here at the ABFA Technical Center. So Cutting Edge now is still comfortably at the moment in second place, waiting the results of the next game which we played for Trendsetters. But Wadadli United are on top here with 10 points, scoring some 15 goals in 4 games and only conceding 1 here. So that gives them a comfortable 14 plus 14 goal difference here, Zico. So just quickly, Zico, and your thoughts on the game itself.
Before we go, I mean, it's important that we give kudos to the sponsor, the Calvin Foundation, for their timely sponsorship. Also, interestingly, George, I think we need to start getting the message out there. The ID Combine, which is scheduled for February 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's going to be another massive opportunity for boys and girls to put themselves on show. It's the annual Generation Next / Calvin Foundation ID Combine, and that's scheduled for February 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2026. So it's important that all players start to keep that in mind and keep that focus. But in terms of the actual match itself, again, I want to say the better team won, and that's a safe assumption that we can both make. Better team on the day one. Cutting Edge FC can take some positives from the game. They managed to score, which is always good. But it would give them an opportunity to look at the work that they need to do technically. But I think one of the biggest things that they can improve on is their general fitness. And I think that is going to make a massive difference in the improvement they play. But kudos to Wadadli United FC. Job done. They took advantage of the situation. They managed to impose themselves on the Cutting Edge FC. Their midfielders were generally better, and they dictated the outcome of not only the pace of the game, but the outcome of the game. So there's no doubt in my mind that Coach Abu Samuel will look at the game and try to retool and regroup for the next encounter. But I want to say the improvement continues for the teams that we're seeing on display week in and week out, and that's all we wanted. The games have become more competitive. We have seen better play. We've seen more. We've seen the girls start to really tune in to the importance of their performance on a weekly basis. So that's a real positive thing for me.
Definitely. And we'd just like to thank all our viewers for watching this game today here with us. We definitely enjoy having you there, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week. So here we have it at the end of we won't have any game tomorrow due to the Independence celebration or the Independence holiday, which we'll be having. But thank you for watching. It's me, George Sour Dublin, and my co-host Desmond Zico Blur here from the ABFA Technical Center in the 2025 Calvin A sponsored Women Premier League. Looking forward to seeing you next weekend. Have a good afternoon.
Discover the Caribbean from a new perspective with Calvin Air Helicopters. Call us today at 789-4354 or email reservations@calvinair.com. From providing access to higher learning, fostering young talent in music, to supporting youth development initiatives, the Calvin Air Foundation is playing a pivotal role in nurturing the potential of tomorrow's leaders.